Hello and welcome to another tutorial. So in this tutorial we are going to learn what is Java. Basically, Java is a high level language, and Java is one of the high level languages which we use to communicate with the computer, because as so you know, the computer operates in a binary number. So, and to perform functions like add, subtract, or multiplication with the binary 0 1 number is very hard for the humans, and in order to convert these binary number, or in this low level language, we use Java as a high level language to convert normal human language into a computer language. For example, in order to uh, sum up the digits like 1 plus 2, if you can just write in the mathematical form, the answer will be 3. Okay, but computers does not understand this language, and they have to be treated and given inputs in the form of binary numbers so that they can understand those instructions. So this is the reason why the programmers and other solution architectures, software architectures, created high level languages to deal with the computers. So basically how Java works is, Java is a high level language and it has a compiler which turned the human predefined languages into the binary language which the machine understand and perform the instructions according to. So there are some data types in any language. For example, if you go in PHP, uh, there is a global data type. If you go in JavaScript, there is a also global data type. But in Java, we have some different data types. For example, we have a string, which is usually used for storing multiple characters. For example, if I write my name here, so the variable a will hold the characters, all the characters which is written here, which is my name. And here, and we have some other data types. We have char. Char is used for storing a single character. Then we have double. Double is used for storing pointed values, 9.0. Then we have integer. Integer is used for storing integer value, obviously. So basically, what are the data types? Data types are used to define in Java to define the type of the data which are being stored in a variable. And what is a variable? A variable is a memory address in which the program or the system stores the data. Okay, so moving on to next, we have learned the data types, we have learned the variables, what are variables. Then we'll move to some basic conditions, like how we can print something in Java. Okay, so for printing anything, we can use the system dot out dot print ln function. And here, if you like hello world, which is the most common thing which the first programmer used to print, so we'll do the same. Okay, so I'll just run this file and you will see the hello world right here. Okay, so what if we want to print any variable? So what you have to do, for example, there's a variable a here which has the value mark, which is a string value, obviously. So what we will do, we will just use the variable a right here. So what it will does, it will go to that variable address and get the value from it, which is mark, and it will print out. Okay, these are the basic concepts of Java which you guys have to learn and understand basically. Moving on to the next step, we have in like if and else condition. In every programming language you will find the if and else condition, switch cases, these are all the same. So basically what if and else condition If and else conditions are simple. Just like it's a condition, for example, I write if u equal to 2. So this means if the variable value u, if the variable will have the value equal to the 2, it will print the a variable, otherwise it will print error. Okay, so for example, since we have already declared a variable right here with the value of 2, we will obviously go into this part of the string and it will neglect this one, because in if and else, normal if and else, there can be only one condition which can be true. Okay, so if I run this, you will obviously see this condition which is printing the a variable, which have the value of 1. If I change the value, it will obviously print the 1. If I change the value to correct answer, as you can see in the output, the correct answer is printed. So what if I change the value of u? If I change the value of u to 22, then obviously this condition will not be true and it will go into else part. Okay, so obviously you can see that the error is printed. So these are some basics if and else condition. Now moving on to the next step in Java, we have loops. We have for loop, we have while loop. So basically what are loops? Loops are kind of incremented cycle. For example, if I wanted to print a string 10 times, what should I do? If you can say, if you have to write it in a textbook, so obviously you have to write it 10 times. But if you want to print something or do something in a programming language, obviously you can just create a function and put it inside a loop. For example, let's just define a function right here inside this class. Okay, we will come to the topic of class and the inheritance process and creating the object of class with obviously the oops players later, but this is the basic. So in Java we can define the function using the public, and we have to give the function a return type. Either it will be a data type, which means the function will either return a data value or it will return the void, which means the void means it will return nothing. So what we will do, the public void function, public void print string. Okay, and I will just print test here. So when I will call this function, it will print the test keyword in the output. Okay, okay, so what we were missing is we were missing the static keyword. Obviously, since we are inside the class, we have to use the static keyword to obviously print the print. So what it will do is, as you can see, it will print the testing only one time because we have call it. So if we want to print it 10 times, what we can do is we can just copy the function and call it 10 times. Okay, but it will not be dynamic. Okay, so what we will do, we will use a loop. We will use a for loop. For loop is basically what is the difference between for and while. Obviously you will ask this. So the for loop is used for the limit amount of quantity which the developers or the programmer knows. For example, if you know that you will have to print the for loop just 10 times only, okay, you have to print something or do something 10 times only, you will use the for loop. But if the developer is writing some condition like he will not know how much time it will have to do that thing. So we can use while loop, or in other languages we can use for each loop. Okay. So in this condition, for example, we have to print the system and answer will. What I will do is I will use the for loop, and inside the for loop you have to declare a variable I, whose value will be 0, and the second part is for the condition I less than equal to 10. Okay, and the third part is for I plus plus. So basically this, what this will does, what these three statements means. So the first statement means that we have declaring a variable. The second statement is like, if this statement is true, run the loop. If it's false, don't run the loop. Okay, and the third statement is for incrementing value. So what will happen, for example, the compiler comes to the line 17, it will read that the I has 0 value. So obviously 0 is less than equal to 10, so it will come into the loop parenthesis and do whatever the hell is going on this parenthesis. Then it will come to the for part again, and it will check the condition. But since we have a third part right here which increments the I variable, so when the second time the loops comes here, the value of I will be 1. So this whole scenario will continuously going until the condition is meant false, and the loop will then terminate, and the compiler will move to the next line. So what we will do, we will just paste this function right inside this loop, and what it will do, as you can see, it has printed the string 10 times. Okay, so obviously it will print 9 times. Yeah. Okay, so I have tell you how to use the function, how to use the loop, how to pass anything inside a function. So for example, if you have to pass the index or the count inside this function, you can just use the declare variable inside, which we call the arguments of the functions. So I will use the integer index. So now I have to pass the value of index when I'm calling the function. For example, I pass the I, because obviously it's an integer, and I can use this index right here, and use index plus. So as you can see, it will print 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, but just do this so it will be clear that we are printing from 1 to 10. Okay, as you can see, 10 time testing is printed. Okay, so these are some basic concept of Java which you guys can learn easily. Okay, so we will come to the next part, and we will go deep dive into some advanced feature of Java which can help you guys to learn a lot and do some advanced programming, and I will also create another video on it. Hope you like the video. Please subscribe to my channel and share the video.